Welcome, Ricardo Gressel, to our podcast. Do you mind telling us about yourself?
No, I don't at all. Can they hear you?
I'm sure they can.
I'm mic'd, but you're not mic'd.
I am.
Oh, you are mic'd. Okay. So, what do you want to know?
Who are you?
Who am I?
Yes.
I'm Warrior Rick.
What's that?
What is that? It's a good
Yeah.
question. So, my birth name is Ricardo, and that was the name that my brother actually gave me that name. He convinced my mother that I should be Ricardo, like Ricardo Montalban. I think they really like that actor. They're both from Panama, my mother and father. And my brother was also born there. My sister and I were both born in California. My sister in 1955, and I was born in 1965. So that makes me 60 this year.
Wow, you have good genes.
Very good genes. Very good
So when
genes.
did you come to
Jordache. I wore Jordache jeans.
When did you come to South Africa?
I came here in 1994. I was here in March before the elections in April.
Oh, okay. And what was your experience of South Africa back then?
I was fascinated. And fortunately, I had some background. It wasn't just from CNN. I'd studied in Stanford regarding South African relations and South African politics. My major was international relations. And I took a fancy, especially in the 80s, of what was happening in South Africa. South Africa was on serious lockdown, right? A much more serious lockdown than COVID. This was a lockdown of can't gather more than 3 people in one place, people of color. No interracial marriages. You couldn't live in certain places, not much different than what we have today. It was racial segregation on another level, but I equated it to what we were having in the United States that was supposedly eradicated when I was born in 1965 under civil rights legislation. So our apartheid was Jim Crow laws. So I think making the association between what I grew up and what I learned about through my family, through my neighbors, and through what the government had instilled was similar to what South Africa had been experiencing, but now I could experience it as an adult. And I think for me, that was the real fascination that I had, especially landing here in 1994 during a time where South Africa was ready for a new dispensation, a complete overhaul of the system, we thought, and here we are today.
Okay, so what motivates you to wake up and get going?
I think I wake up like anyone else wakes up. I've had enough sleep. I can get 7, 8 hours, 9 hours is a bit much. If I get 8 hours sleep, then I'm conscious. But it doesn't mean that I'm awake. Awake meaning wanting to be awake. I think there's a yearning to want to get up. There's a difference between being awake and getting up. And the getting up is a physical decision. As a motivational speaker and as someone who's always encouraging people to be ready, I know that being ready is a decision. It's not emotion. It's not waiting for a motivational speaker or for your favorite song. You have to decide, especially if you're going to do it on a consistent basis. And so for me, the morning is something where I have to tell myself, it's time to get up. It's time to do this, whatever it is. And yes, I have a routine. And yes, I have a program. And yes, I program myself. I don't let others, especially the public, program me. And so I think what perhaps makes me part of the unique few, unfortunately, is that I realize it's a decision. That although it's difficult, although it might even be hard at times, I get up.
What advice do you have for the youth?
For me, the youth is the most important. Of every sector, of every type of grouping demographically of people, the youth is the most important because on many levels, they keep me young. On another level, it keeps me curious. But I think on the most fundamental level, the youth is my future as much as it's their future. Because if the youth don't have it together and if they don't have jobs and if they don't have vision And if they're not willing to be disciplined, self-disciplined, self-respect, if they don't have these elements, then we all suffer. We all fail. As I decrease, the youth must increase, right?
Right.
And so I'm looking forward to engaging the youth every time I have that opportunity at schools with my own children. I've raised 12 children in this household with Joyce. And what a blessing to be able to see the different dynamics, boy, girl, people who are fast starters, people who are slow starters, people who don't have any idea of what they want to become and then become what they're supposed to become. So the youth for me are very, very special. And the message that I would have for the youth, I think, would be stay in the game. Don't worry about win or loss. Just stay in the game. Find your discipline in your passion. Find your purpose in your passion. Find the reason for being in your passion. I say get lost in your passion and you'll find your purpose. But all too often, folks, they're not really passionate about anything because they leaning on to other people's passions. They're leaning on to someone's coded game that they like. And then they leaning on someone's Instagram platform. And they're leaning on whatever else someone else has created. But what have they created as an individual? So I encourage wonderment. I encourage children to wonder and even to wander a little bit, to go off track in order to bring themselves back, to find themselves. Parents can't do that. Teachers can't do it. They have to do it for themselves. And we're just here as adults and as leaders and as guiders to just build some guardrails so that they obviously don't go completely off track, where we find many of our youth going today, where they've lost all sense of principles, values, morals. As long as they're within the guardrails, I think they should be curious, use wonderment, and imagine, use their imagination.
So we also know that you have a flair for eating and cooking. If there's one comfort dish that you go to, what is it and why?
I don't have a flair for cooking. Okay, let's get the record
Or
straight.
is it barbecue?
Well, I can barbecue,
Fry.
but you got to give credit to my wife and her sisters. I'm blessed in South Africa, and that was a game changer for me. Everybody can cook.
Yes.
And you know Indians, right? And when you got an Indian and black mix, you've got a winning combination.
Yeah.
So I'm blessed to be able to enjoy so many different cuisines and to just enjoy home cooked meals on a regular basis. But my go-to food in terms of, what I love and what I enjoy, it changes according to seasons. It changes based on what we're celebrating. It changes based on the season, winter versus spring versus summer. But no one can beat my wife's semp risotto.
Yes.
Semp risotto is simply,
100%.
it's
Yes.
semp, as we know semp. It's a type of bean dish,
Uh-huh.
well known and very popular in South Africa. But she puts her own touch in it to make it more of a risotto, Italian type dish. And it's one of my favorites. But it's similar to pop. And I think the comfort foods are in things that are heavily starched, things that are filling. I think those are the comfort meals. So I love pop. It comes from, for me, grits. I grew up on grits, and grits is a southern dish in the States that is white cornmeal, just like pop is white cornmeal, sifted maize, right? Sifted millies. And so grits, pop, semp risotto, a good acne, which is just rice. It's just a beautiful rice dish that has all of the elements within it that gives you the different flavors. So I got a lot of comfort foods because I'm blessed to have those kind of options.
Well, thank you, Ricardo. It was so nice to speak to you in this wonderful setting. And
This setting is my home, by the way.
yes.
You can say that. I'm grateful.
Yes. And we will do this again some other time.
I look forward to it.
Thank you.